All right, what is going on? So I just wanted to talk about, my main training philosophy that I've been using, and why I kind of do some of the things that I do. So my most recent video that I released was my overhead press. I did 135 for around 25 reps, and I do a lot of things like that. And I do a lot of, high reps, and I've been doing it recently, and I've done it in the past, and I found it to be very effective. And I think the reason for this is, quite simply, I've kind of structured it around, the most effective supplement that you can take is creatine. Or basically, the amount of volume you can get in a workout is going to be much higher with creatine. And I think that's really both the overall volume across sets, but then the amount of reps you can get in a single set is going to be a lot higher. And depending on what rep range you use, it's going to be more effective. So if you're doing doubles and triples, creatine is not really going to affect you as much. If you're doing 5 to 8 reps, 10 to 12 reps, 20 reps, those are the further down you go, the more creatine is going to help you. I've kind of found that working in a double-digit rep range, using creatine is kind of my driving force. I kind of think of it as like, hey, what if creatine was my performance-enhancing drug that gave me, an edge on the competition? How is this going to allow me to how can I use that to my advantage? So that's the way I think of it. Initially, my max overhead press was 165 pounds. I started doing lower reps, increased it by about 20 pounds, pretty happy with it. Then when I started to do higher rep ranges in a shorter amount of time, I increased it by another 30 pounds. This has been the case, the first time I started bench pressing, when I had a bench in my room, I put 35-pound plates on each side. That's all I had, and I would just rep that out. And squats and milk. I increased my squats by about over 100 pounds in a very short amount of time, given some of that was kind of regaining some strength, but a very short amount of time doing the 20 rep squat routine, doing 2 sets of 10, stuff like that. So, my deadlift, I think my deadlift has increased. I don't really test my maxes too much, just because, like I said, this style of training is more rep oriented. It's not really about the amount of strength that I'm getting, because if I can do 315 for 20 and then later I can do 365 for 20, I know that I got stronger. Now, how much that increased my 1 rep max, I don't know, but increasing any 1 rep max by 50 pounds in that amount of time is almost impossible. I know that I got stronger in some way, and if I can keep improving my 20 rep, 10 rep max over time, eventually that number is going to get to my old 1 rep max if I continue to train that way. So that's the way I see it. I don't really see a reason for me to train or test my 1 rep max or do singles or anything like that, just because I'm going to be getting stronger over time, doing more volume, and using creatine to my advantage. So that's the style of training I've kind of been flirting with over the past couple of years, but I'm really starting to kind of hammer it home recently, and I've been getting some pretty good results. Honestly, 6 months ago, my overhead press max was 165. Now, I use 135 and I hit 25 reps with it. That seems like a pretty good improvement over that time period, and I think I'll be able to hit more pretty soon here, just because the way that my training has been going. And it could very well slow down, but I really think that is an effective training strategy that you should try and use if you get the chance. And if you're going to use it, let me know how it works if you've been doing it. And I just suggest that you try it.